Hello, year eight. We are about to begin a new unit, and this one is on theater posters. Now, we're going to be looking both at posters for theater productions, like the one you see on the screen now, and also we'll look at some movie or film posters because they're essentially doing the same thing, and there are a lot more examples that are quite current. But we'll start with this one. And today we're really going to be thinking about what makes a good poster now and what makes a bad poster so that we can avoid that. Now, we're going to be moving toward you creating your own theater posters. And when we think of, you might ask yourself, why are we going to do that? What's the use of that? Well, as you know from the theater makers unit that we did before, there are a lot of different jobs that go into making a theater production. And there's the business side of theater too. If you don't get people into the seats, then there's not a lot of reason to make a production. Well, I suppose you could argue that, but you won't have a business unless you get people into the seats. So there are people in the theater business who design theater posters. Now, what's good about this for us is by practicing this, we'll learn about theater poster design, but we'll also learn about some things we need to know for English around media texts. Okay, now this is a media text because it's not only words, it's also images. Okay, so that's a lot to listen to. What I want to get down to is what makes this a good poster or a bad poster? Now, I would say this is very effective. Okay, and I'll tell you why. I'll start with the image. Okay, look at the image at the center. Okay, you have very sharp points on a crown, and there's something dangerous about this crown. Okay, it's not your usual crown, it's something quite dangerous. Okay, and that idea of danger is even more clear with these creepy, evil, bony hands and blood red nails. And then this image of blood dripping down from the crown. And it makes us wonder what's going to happen in this story. It raises questions and piques our interest and makes us want to see, I think, if we like that type of thing, things that are scary or dangerous or maybe deal with violence. Okay, that will interest us in this production. Now, so the image is the first thing I want to mention. The next thing I want to mention is the color. Okay, now right away, you'll notice you have black, white, red, and gray. That's it. Four colors, very simple. Okay, now when we think black and white, we might even think good and evil. And that's certainly something that's in this play. Okay, you're going to be reading this play, by the way, for your English class or parts of it. And it's brilliant. So, in terms of color, it also really stands out. The black background makes the white pop out and makes the red pop out. And the gray, which fades into the black, suggests of something coming out of the darkness. Okay, and adds to the creepiness of the image. So the white is eye catching, okay, and the other colors add to the element of danger, fear, darkness, and violence. And so we get a lot out of those colors. And here they've used white again at the bottom to make the words stand out against the dark background. Okay, so we've talked about image and color. Okay, now we can talk about font. Okay, now font is the style of the letters. Okay, now here a very old style of lettering is being used, and it might signal to the reader that this is an old story, one that's historical. Okay, and a part of literature. It's not a modern story. Okay, but it still stands up, and that lettering just gives us that tip. Okay, here at the bottom, they've used a different style of letter, and it really helps us just to easily read this basic information. Okay, now you will notice there is not a lot of writing on this poster. They have just picked the key words and phrases to tell you what is the production, who's putting it on. Notice how small the font is here. Okay, so font size is another factor. This is quite big because they want you to know this famous production is being put on. Okay, and then here, if you're interested by what's above, you'll maybe step a little closer to learn more details. Okay, the first thing they have to do is hook your interest. Okay, the interest of the audience. And you'll notice they say, where is the production taking place? When? At what time? Okay, at what times? And then where do you go for tickets? Okay, now we've talked through color, image, font, and now layout is the last piece. And layout is just how are the words organized on the page and images. Okay, so right at the center, you have this image. Okay, Macbeth is also centered right to left, and it's sort of this and the image are in the center of the page. Okay, they've put additional information at the top and bottom out of the way to show you what's most important and to grab your attention. Okay, it's balanced from side to side. Okay, because this is centered. These pokey lines, okay, also add some symmetry. Notice there's one in the middle and then three on either side. There's not an odd number, so there's a little bit of a sense of balance in the two hands. Okay, so that's how it's organized. Now let's compare that to another example. Okay, now I'm sorry, this is a little pixelated, it's a little blurry. Okay, but you can get the idea. Now, what you should notice right away when we compare these two is that there's a whole lot more going on in this picture than there was in the Macbeth poster. So some would argue there's far too much going on. Okay, you don't have the simple black and white color scheme. Okay, and I'm not saying you need to have a simple black and white color scheme, but the background itself is not just a plain color. There's a lot of patterning, and there are different things happening in the background. You have a sky with stars, with clouds, okay, some brighter than others, maybe planets, okay, more clouds, and then into the ocean, okay. You've got the ship with all these characters around the outside, each one quite different, okay, the wings of this dragon blending into the sky. Then you've got text, quite a bit of text at the top, and then more at the bottom. And so there's more information, I think, here than there is on the other Macbeth poster. And altogether, it's quite busy. You might not be sure what to look at when you first look at this one. So, generally speaking, you wouldn't want to have more than this happening in your poster. Okay. In terms of layout, there's a lot of different things that have been included. Okay. There are a couple of key colors here, but there's um, so the orange here really stands out, the purple stands out, then you get all the shades in the sky. So it's not easy to look at and pick out one or two key things. And you might even miss the title of the film for all that's going on in the poster. Okay, especially if you're just walking down the street quickly. Remember that movie posters are meant to capture someone's attention quickly when they're passing, maybe in a car, maybe on foot or on a bicycle. Okay, but how are you quickly going to catch someone's attention and make them interested in seeing your production? Okay, by contrast, okay, look at this Captain Marvel. Okay, everything that's in the background, again, there's a lot going on in the background, but we are focused on one character here. And the image of that character is pretty straightforward to interpret. She's powerful. Okay, she's powerful. Her facial expression says power. This electricity going through her arms says power. Her posture with her shoulders back says power. Okay, and if you're interested in seeing a film about a powerful woman, this one's probably for you. Okay, and that message is straightforward. Now you have some smaller things in the background that will catch your attention if you look more closely. Okay, you've got a clear color scheme. Okay, so hopefully all those pieces are making sense to you a little more with each example. Okay, I'm going to take you to some more examples. And one that really jumps out, I think, is The Lion King. Okay, notice the colors, just three colors: black, yellow, and red. Okay, the image is interesting. It's not a photograph of a lion. Okay, it's stylized and it makes us think of maybe a storybook version. And it might make you wonder, how are they going to bring this story to life on the stage? Okay, and this lion is at the center of the story, if you know the story. So they've picked something really key to the story to grab people's attention. Okay, and made that the center. It's very simple, okay, and memorable. Okay, there's not a lot of text here. The Lion King is the largest font. Okay, and it says the world's #1 musical. That might really make me want to see it. Now, we will notice there is not additional information about where to see it. Okay, so they've maybe taken that off to sell this as a poster to people for their homes for decoration. Okay, uh, I'll just scroll through. Sorry, there were a couple I wanted to show you. You can look at Singing in the Rain. Again, an interesting layout. Okay, the shapes here might catch our attention. The text has rain going through it, which is nice. Okay, very clean, simple lines. Okay, angles, just like in the picture. Okay, and it captures our attention just through the shape. And we see this person is dancing, and it's a joyful image. And so, if we want to see a theater about something that's happy and has singing, even in dark times, that's going to catch our attention. Okay, so I'll pause there. I'm going to jump over to some common movie posters. Okay, uh, when I say common, what I should say is um, some that have stood the test of time. Okay, like Jaws, and then some that are more current but really stand out. Okay, so Jaws, let's take a closer look at that one. Okay, we don't need to say too much about this. Very little text, bright red suggesting blood. Okay, we see the danger, but the woman swimming does not. The size of the image of the shark, okay, creates a sense of fear. The jagged teeth, okay, really interests us. There's very little else, and it doesn't need much more, okay? You would need some information about where people can see this production, okay, and when. Okay, that's key. Now, Mandalorian is quite interesting. Okay, it's mysterious. We want to know this helmet makes us question who is behind that mask. Okay, there's something very dark, but then also you have almost an image of a cross on the helmet, which makes a lot of people will make a lot of people think of religion. So, is this person good or are they evil? We have to ask ourselves, why are they hiding behind the mask? So that element of mystery might draw us into this production. Okay, so your task for today is to do a little bit of research on your own. You can just search Google for theater posters or movie poster images, and you will get loads of images. Go through and find one good one and one that you think is not so good, and say what's good about one and not good about the other. Now, it's important you can upload these images, right? All you do is right click, save as, save it to your desktop, and then upload it. Okay, or you can do it some other way if you know how. So you're just going to say what's good or bad about them. It's not about whether you like the movie or the theater production. It's about how well have they designed the poster. Okay, so pick one good example and one bad example of a movie poster. That's your task, and say why one's good, why one's bad. All right, enjoy.